And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, our Week 4 preview show. Let's go. Paul Farrington joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia, and Zach Bloomquist, the best executive producer in the game. Please remember to like this video, to comment on this video, and perhaps even subscribe to our channel if so inclined. Tell a friend.
We're soaring. We're soaring.
We're doing well right now.
We
still Packers fans.
Appreciate you guys.
Is, pros and cons. So I guess we're getting to know Green Bay people a little bit better. But
and Texans fans. We got some real Texans fans coming in today.
Yeah, it's exciting. And they have a big matchup with your Steelers this weekend.
I don't know if Texas fans existed, really, but I guess they do. They're coming out of the woodworks now.
I mean, yeah, they haven't had much to be excited about for a couple of years, but all of a sudden you have a rookie quarterback who is probably the best rookie quarterback of the bunch so far, and it's exciting times.
Crazy to say week 3 when two of them have only played 1 week.
Well, he's the best. Yeah, he has to be the best then.
It's by default.
We have a really fun show today. We're very excited. We're going to do our game picks as always. We'll do some of that Monday morning headlines where we take a look at the biggest game for each of us, and we'll tell you what you'll see when you open your newspaper on Monday morning. We'll make a case for which team currently in last could jump up to first place by the end of the year, because there are a few teams. You'll see our cases. We'll see if we can convince you. Zach will vote on that. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. We're going to tell you the name of a breakup song T Swift will write for Kelce by the end of the year. And my goodness, we have some fun ones for you. Jack's Cap of the Week. That's how we close it. So a very fun show. It's Wednesday night we're recording. I'm not really over the Notre Dame loss. It's been 5 days almost by the time you're listening to this.
Took a bit.
6.
It took a bit.
I might be done watching college football this year. I'm not sure. I know the season's not over, but really hard, devastating loss for me and Ziggy and you. Really all of us here.
It's horrible. Horrible all around.
And yeah, it's just been a brutal football season. Just a brutal football season.
But you.
Yeah, Notre Dame loses to Duke this weekend.
I guess
my boys are 2-1. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I guess maybe just for me. It's just every year. But perhaps it could get even worse for Vikings fans. And we'll only talk about this for a minute here. But Justin Jefferson today on his Instagram account posted a picture of just a black screen with the quote, "Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory." Now, Ziggy, you're our resident philosopher here. When you look at that quote, it kind of reminds me of the Stefon Diggs attitude before
we are getting digsed.
We're sort of getting digsed here. Who knows? Maybe he's talking about a girl that he's into. Hopefully.
I tried to read it like 10 times and I didn't really get it. But I kind of get where he was getting at. I didn't really know what it meant, though.
Well,
I think he's saying he feels unappreciated by the Vikings, and we're not going to realize what we had until he's gone.
That sounds about right to me, and I am not happy about that. Now, Ziggy, you might like that because you wanted them to trade him, so maybe you're thrilled at this.
Well, I don't like the fact that the relation's souring. I would have liked to see them have a run at keeping him and at least sort of feel the market neutrally. But I just, there's people keep talking about the chance that Kirk Cousins leaves. Kirk Cousins might be gone. He's certainly gone at the end of the season. I have a feeling that it's like the groundhog popping out and seeing his shadow. We are about to have a long, cold winter in Minnesota. And I think this might be the first omen.
I would still be, let me just clarify. I would be very surprised if Justin Jefferson is not a Viking for years to come. But it's just it's never a good sign when you start seeing these messages being posted at all.
I would have told you the same thing about Stefon Diggs.
I mean, Justin Jefferson's probably like, I'm the best player in the NFL. I'm super young. I have my whole bright career ahead of me. And where is this organization going?
Stink.
Yeah, and these guys are horrible.
Believe it or not, they have the quarterback. They just have nothing else.
Right. He's
on track, for 2,600 yards.
I know.
2,600 yards.
I saw that Cousins, too, is on pace for a great season numbers-wise.
Oh, if the Vikings were 2-0 or 2-1 or 3-0 right now, Kirk might be the MVP favorite. He has 9. He's leading the league in yards, in touchdowns. He has 2 interceptions that aren't his fault. And somehow we're still sitting here at 0-3 about the blow.
Justin Jefferson might be an MVP candidate. His worst game was against the Chargers, where he had 149 yards and a touchdown. That was his worst game.
I mean, who's leading the MVP odds?
Tua. I mean, dude, Dolphins are great.
This team without Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins
worst team
loses in a Penn State whiteout. like 24-21.
Yeah,
like Penn State probably beats them at night in a whiteout.
Probably, yeah. We throw a late pick or something like that.
Yeah, if you take away JJ and Kirk from this team, they lose at Penn State.
Okay, enough about the Vikings. Jefferson will stay with them. Don't worry, Vikings fans. It's just a little ominous right now.
I'm worried.
Just wait till Kwesi comes out and says we intend to keep him a Viking. That's when it's.
I think these pipes are leaking ahead of me.
I mean, just one or two drops
above me. I'm getting
just a drop or two. Yeah, remember, we're losing the studio soon.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
We could use any money for renovations. Once Kwesi comes out and says we're keeping him, then Harvin, Diggs, Jefferson, boom, everyone leaves. Can't have nice things. Let's go on to our Monday morning headlines. I'll pick the first game. And Zach, I am going to go with your, I guess, blue sky franchise right now. Not really, but at the moment, yes. Yeah. The Miami Dolphins. Fins up, baby. 3-0.
Fins up.
Ziggy, let's hear it, Ziggy.
Basically dominating the NFL in every offensive statistic. They go to Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and the Bills. The Bills team who has quietly really turned it on the past 2 weeks. So I think when you open up your newspaper Monday morning in Buffalo, you're going to see long live the Kings. The Kings of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills, 3 years in a row right now. They have won that division. It's going to be a great game, Zach. Back and forth, just like last year, 3 games, Dolphins-Bills decided by 8 total points. Just amazing games, even with Skylar Thompson at quarterback in the playoff game. But at home in Buffalo, I'm going to go with the Bills. This team is just 38-10, 37-3 past 2 games versus the Raiders and Commanders. Most people, to me, can't get that image.
Like really hard teams.
I'm just saying most people can't get the image of them losing to the Jets on Monday Night Football out of their mind. But that was an anomaly. It was a 4-turnover game, 3 interceptions from Josh Allen. The whole 9-11 game with Rodgers, there was something magical about that for the Jets. Had to win that football game. This Buffalo team is really, really good. And at home, I like them a little bit over you. What do you guys say to that?
Yeah, I totally agree. So to start with the Dolphins, taking nothing away, they're one of the best teams in football.
Oh, they're great.
A team who can win the Super Bowl. I think they're a top 5 team in the league, hands down. It last week reminded me a bit of a spot where they were really out to get Denver. There was incentive to run it up because you don't score 70 points at this level unless you really want to and have it in for somebody. And they had it in for Sean Payton, and they ran it up on him. And now you go on the road to a division rival in the Buffalo Bills. It just reminds me of a spot where Buffalo is going to get them and remind them that this is our division. You're not with us yet.
I think they're with them.
Well, I'm saying what Buffalo's going to be thinking.
Oh, okay.
And let's defend our home field and show you that we're the Kings of the East. I think Buffalo gets them in a close game.
How about you, Ziggy?
I think it's weird that people aren't talking about this Bills defense, right? Over the course of 3 games, the Bills defense has given up 2 touchdowns. Right, this defense is one of the league's best. And the Dolphins, I'm not taking away from their incredible offensive performance. I think they have a great offense. But they haven't exactly had to play difficult defenses, right? They've had to play the Chargers, the Patriots, who admittedly are pretty good, and the Broncos, who have had an incredible defensive regression, right? This Dolphins team has not had to do something like go on the road into Buffalo with a hyped home crowd and face a strong defense. So I think Josh Allen is one of those guys. He likes to play to the level of his competition. When he's against a bad team, you can see Josh Allen making all sorts of mistakes. But when it comes down to it, when the game's on the line, he will execute. I really think that Josh Allen and the Bills have a good chance coming into this game. I think they're going to win.
It's funny. The Dolphins offense, all you're seeing in sports media is how good they are. And it's true. They lead the league in right now 43.3 points per game. I know 70 has a huge thing to do with that. But still, when I was looking at the stats and you see 43.3, kind of eye-popping. Yeah. Buffalo's actually second with 30.3, so great offenses going at it. But Miami also leads the league in total yards per game, yards per play, rushing yards per game, passing yards per game, red zone efficiency, plays of at least 20 yards, score percentage per drive. Basically every category, Zach, your offense is dominating. What I can't wait to see, though, is the Buffalo front line, D-line versus Miami, because this Bills team had 15 hits on Washington last week on Sam Howell, and 7 different defenders had at least 4 pressures.
They had 9 sacks.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And Tua gets the ball out faster than any quarterback in the league. He's the quickest release. And that's something that the Dolphins were great at last year, too. We talked about intermediate throws to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle coming across the field. You get them in space, and they're off and running. It's like the greatest show on turf out here, or Showtime Lakers with this Dolphins team. I want to see how this Bills defense, who's allowing the second fewest points per game and second fewest yards per game, can they get to Tua fast enough before these crazy weapons? Is Waddle playing, by the way? Do you know, Zach? Do we know that yet?
You'll know tomorrow because tomorrow because he's still technically in concussion.
So by the time you're listening to this,
he fully practiced today, though. So I bet he's going to play.
Projected points in fantasy. So I mean, I'd assume he's
just to put it out there too. This is crazy that we haven't said anything. And Ziggy said they've only allowed 2 touchdowns. He's played Zach Wilson, Sam Howell, and Jimmy Garoppolo.
And Jimmy G.
Hey, those quarterbacks are non-existent. No wonder why they.
No. This is by far the biggest test for the Bills. I'm just going to wrap up this thought I had here. Because, these stats, I love these stats. I know normally Ziggy is our stat guy, but Tua's only been sacked once this year, hit 5 times in 3 games. I think about Kirk Cousins, who basically, I saw some tweet that was Kirk should change his name to
more than every play.
Kirk Cousins takes a sack. The Bills right now tied for QB sack, second in QB sacks with 12. And the number that you pay attention to is Tua's passer rating is 137.7 right now when he has a clean pocket. He just picks you apart. And it drops down to 57.7 when he's pressured. And I think about San Francisco getting to him last year when he made a couple mistakes. Will this D-line of Buffalo be able to get to him? That's the question. And really, I lean towards saying no. I just think Buffalo will win in a shootout.
I mean, this is a big-time prove-it game for the Dolphins.
Oh, gotta be the biggest statement game for them in years.
In years, yeah. Because right now they're 3-0. But this is a game now where if you can go and you can win this, the small doubters left are going to be like, okay, this team is here for real. Like, it is super on. But if you go up and now you get waxed
they
on
won't
the
get
road,
waxed. They're not going to get waxed.
They won't. I don't think they will either. But if you go up and you lose and you're clearly the worst team that day, people will be like, oh, Buffalo's still the team to beat.
Yep. And one last, sorry, Ziggy, go ahead.
I was going to say, the reason Tua doesn't get sacked, I think this is the good news if you're a Dolphins fan. It's not because the Dolphins' offensive line is great, right? I mean, the Dolphins' offensive line is sort of okay, but they haven't had Teron Armstead. The blocking hasn't been good. It's because Mike McDaniel is so good at figuring out what to do before the snap. Before the play even starts, Tyreek Hill is already running 20 miles an hour.
Yep.
What are you supposed to do as a
literally
defense?
20.
You've got the flash out there, just starting running behind the line of scrimmage. It's like cornerback. You can't keep up with him if you get a head start. And instead he does. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sean McDermott, who's really taken over the defense for the Bills, is going to respond, right? Because it's not like the Dolphins offense is completely unbeatable. There's just, you need some innovation. And we sure won't see it.
Those guys doing all these crazy formations and schemes before the play.
You see the top 5 fastest ball carriers so far in the NFL this year have all been Dolphins.
Are they all Dolphins players?
It was Hill, Waddle, A-Chain, Mostert. Yeah, they've all been Dolphins.
Wow. This is the game of the week by far. I can't wait to watch it. We'll have to find some sort of plan, Zach, because this is...
Are you going to the bar, Zach?
I don't know. It's a good question.
You should. This is the biggest Dolphins.
Go hang out with Zach at the bar.
I don't
know.
We won't drop places. DM the account if you want information.
Yeah. Final thing before we move on to Ziggy's game. Josh Allen at home versus Miami. He's 8-2 overall, but at home 5-0, 17 touchdowns, 112.7 passer rating, 37.4 points per game.
I think the home field ultimately on Sunday is what prevails for Buffalo.
I agree. But this is your chance, Zach, for the Dolphins. If they come in and win this game, and it is a big message to the entire league. Yeah. I don't think losing means that the Dolphins aren't a Super Bowl contender, but winning this game goes a long way in making people realize that this team is possibly the best in football.
We have Vic Fangio now.
You do.
You do. Winning this game, I may be ready to say the Dolphins are the best team in football.
Yeah. Oh,
and put them ahead of San Francisco. That's where I'd be at.
I'd love to see them play San Francisco again this year with the rematch.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We got to get by us first in the playoffs.
All right, Ziggy. So we all seem to have the Bills winning that in a thriller. We'll give the final answer with our game picks. Maybe people change. I'm sure Zach is leaning the other way. But what game are you looking at this weekend with a careful eye?
For me, I think it's got to be the Browns-Ravens game. And you asked about headlines. Here's the headline I am predicting. Myles Garrett, MVP.
Wow.
I don't know if you saw, there was a Myles Garrett. He had 3.5 sacks last weekend. I feel like people aren't talking about that enough. The play that really stood out to me was at the beginning of the fourth quarter against the Titans. He got a delay of game out of the Titans because he kept just walking around to the other side of the offensive line. They had to send 2 guys to follow him to triple team him. And then, Myles Garrett is just that good. And this Browns defense has been clearly the best in the NFL, right? I get that the Bills defense has been good. They've been putting up those sack numbers, but this Browns defense has been able to consistently generate pressure. The corners have been good. The linebackers can tackle, right? They've been able to shut down everyone they've played.
Meanwhile, not enough people are talking about that at all.
No, I mean, this is the best defense in the NFL by a country mile. And Deshaun Watson looked good last week against the Titans, right? The Titans, I'm not saying they're a great team, but beating them 27-3 means something. The team looked good. Meanwhile, you've got the Ravens. They're coming off a brutal loss to the Colts. They're trying to jockey for position in the AFC North. Lamar Jackson is coming off another great rushing game, but another one of those games where Lamar Jackson puts up incredible numbers and doesn't come home with the win. They're definitely feeling a lot of pressure. And of course, I mean, the Browns going to Cleveland. This is one of the most brutal rivalries in the NFL. This could be a great game.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Not enough people are talking about the Browns defense. I said Buffalo was second in the league in yards allowed at 253.3. Number one is Cleveland with 163.7. We're talking about an 89.3 yards of difference right there, which is just an absurd number. They also lead the league in points allowed per game. Think about the dominant performances at home. 24-3 against the Bengals, 27-3 against the Titans. Not many people saw those Myles Garrett statistics, Ziggy, because not many people are watching that game by the time it's a blowout in the third quarter. The Cleveland defense, they've just been so good. The only touchdown they allowed was the Pickens 71-yarder against you guys on Monday Night Football. Other than that, they lost to you because their offense screwed up.
We're just a better team.
You don't understand. The Cleveland Browns offense has given up more touchdowns to the opposing team than the Cleveland Browns defense. There's been a scoop and score and a pick six. The Browns defense only won.
That screams crappy quarterback to me. That just screams crappy quarterback.
You're a Browns hater, Jack, and you're also a Ravens hater. So you kind of pit yourself against each other here.
I think right now I hate the Browns more.
Okay, so for that reason, do you like the Ravens?
But no,
pure hatred.
I think I actually like the Browns in this game because of what they've shown they can do so far at home. But for both teams' standpoints, this is a big game for both teams because with the Bengals now being 1-2 off to a sluggish start, this AFC North seems like it will be open. You got the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns all at 2-1. And it's important early on to get that head-to-head victory if you're the Browns or the Ravens and be 3-1 as opposed to 2-2 with head-to-head. I mean, if the Steelers were to lose in Houston, the winner of this game 4 weeks in is in first place.
Yep. Isn't it crazy, too? I feel like the Ravens just find a lot of ways to have moments slip away sometimes.
The Ravens, sorry to interrupt, but
no, you're fine.
It's just a tough matchup for me to really pick a side because Baltimore, especially off a loss where they're a massive favorite, they're tough to bet against because they're a good football team. This will be a low-scoring game that's won hard fought.
At Cleveland's tough, but Baltimore, I was just saying, losing to Indianapolis at home is just such a bad loss. By the end of this year, who knows where the AFC North will be? We all expect it to be pretty close, but when you go back and look and see them losing to Gardner Minshew at home, that could be a game that we look back on and say, wow, they win that. We don't have to rely on tiebreakers. Maybe they just go ahead and it could even matter for 1-seed potential. So that's a huge loss for them, and they're banged up too. Bateman, Odell, this is as of Wednesday. Kyle Hamilton, Justice Hill, Marlon Humphrey, of course, still hurt. There's a lot of guys. I mean, the list goes on and on for Baltimore of injuries. So it's going to be a tough one if you're a Ravens fan going into Cleveland. But, I mean, you always have a chance with Lamar.
To me, right now, it's a bit of a bigger game for Cleveland. Because I think what
because it's the home game, right?
Yeah, what the AFC North will come down to is defending your home field. Like Cleveland has to go to Baltimore later on in the year. Cleveland has to go to Cincinnati. So it's important to pick up a win at home against these teams.
And just a note here, Kyle Hamilton among safeties this year, my good friend.
Oh, yeah. Fellow Irishman.
Yeah, fellow Irishman. First in sacks, he had 3 versus Indy last weekend. First in hurries, first in bad passes, or tied first, and tied second in forced fumbles among safeties this year. I always just look back and I'm like, yep. And Lewis Seen is sitting on the bench in Minnesota. Lewis Seen's on the bench. Andrew Booth.
We traded Kyle Hamilton for Lewis Seen and Andrew Booth, basically, right?
Yeah.
Combined, those guys have played 0 snaps this year.
Oh, and the Lions got Jameson Williams.
You might be a black cloud organization.
One could say. I cannot believe when I look at some. Kwesi got TJ Hawkinson. This isn't a Viking segment. Other than the Hawkinson thing, what the hell's going on? Okay. You got the Browns. We all seem to like the Browns at the moment.
Yeah, I got the Browns in a low, like 16-13 type gritty game.
Which means Ravens probably 35.
35-10. Yeah.
Did you hear what Kyle Hamilton's got a new nickname, actually. I thought this was really cool from Jadeveon Clowney. His nickname is Avatar because he's mastered all 4 elements. He's 6'4". He can run. He can hit. He can catch. He's mastered all of the
this phenomenal nickname.
He's a beast.
Yeah,
Avatar.
Whatever there is, Kyle Hamilton's going to bring it.
That's a really good.
That's a great nickname. That is an all-time. He got a sack. He's gotten interceptions. He's done everything for them this year.
It would be better if the Ravens wore blue instead of purple.
Well, how great would it be if Kyle shaved his head and came out with the arrow on? That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Ravens by a million if that ever happens.
Go for it, Kyle.
Kyle Hamilton, anytime pick if they offer those odds.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Anytime touchdown.
And
yeah.
So Jack, I'm assuming you're gonna go to the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going down to Houston. Steelers-Texans. It's low key a big game for both teams early on here. But when you open that newspaper in Houston on Monday morning, it's gonna say Stroud struggles.
Succinct.
This is a very good Pittsburgh Steelers defense. One of the best in football. They give Deshaun Watson major problems. And for 3 quarters, they give Jimmy G major problems. They've won 2 games in a row. Texans fans, and for good reason, are feeling good about CJ Stroud. And I would be too. I think he's shown promise. He's improved day by day. But now he's going up against TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward and Alex Highsmith, a tough front 7 who likes to pressure the quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the best record in football in the last 23 years, against rookie quarterbacks. I don't know the exact number, something like 25-4, somewhere around there. They've dominated rookie quarterbacks. And I think this will be more of the same. I think they really give this kid a tough time, and they go down to Houston and win the game.
It's really funny. It's really funny. Let me just say this, Ziggy, that we'll get over to your point. As I was doing some research for this game in particular, I type in Steelers-Texans stats, like previews, all that. And the first thing I see is Steelers. I started laughing hysterically. Steelers face historic challenge against Texans. I was like, all right, this is too good. I have to click on
That's
this.
That's some nice clickbait right there.
Oh, phenomenal clickbait.
I didn't see that.
Phenomenal clickbait. I click on that, and the opening line is, the Pittsburgh Steelers have faced some big-name quarterbacks this season. It's like, okay, Purdy, Watson, Jimmy G. Not really big name, but they're
good
known quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But their toughest test yet will come in week 4 when they face the Houston Texans. And basically what it came down to was CJ Stroud is the first rookie in NFL history to throw for 900 yards and 4 touchdowns without an interception. On the year, he's 78 for 121, 906 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, great job. Whoever wrote that article, phenomenal job of clickbait. I can't say I agree with it necessarily, but yes, this Steelers team is perhaps facing a challenge in CJ Stroud. And the one other point I wanted to go off, you said, the pressure that Pittsburgh can put on them.
Too ferocious up front.
He's been sacked 11 times this year already, Stroud. And TJ Watt is on track for 34 sacks this season. I can see the Steelers, as good as Houston was against Jacksonville, and as bad as I think the Steeler offense actually might be, their defense is able to get the job done here, in my opinion.
Well, here's the... Oh, sorry. You got it, Ziggy. You got it.
You talked about pressure. Boy, if there's something to worry about with the Texans this game, it is their offensive line. Right? So, Laramie Tunsil's out. Shaq Mason's out. George Fanta's out. Last week, James Daniels and Chucks Okafor hurt. They are down 3 starters on the offensive line. Last week, it was 4. This week, it could quite possibly be 4 or 5 starters out on the offensive line, which makes what CJ Stroud is doing all the more impressive, right? Like the fact that he's been able to play pretty well. I get that the Jaguars and Colts aren't the most intimidating defenses in the NFL, but he's put together good games despite just not having an offensive line. That luck might be about to run out, though. It is tough to imagine. Like, what are you supposed to do about TJ Watt if you don't have a starting tackle?
Houston have a problem.
The Steelers lead the league with 13 sacks, and they're tied for third in the NFL with 4 interceptions this year. Your defense, Jack, what's great about them, especially given the struggles on offense, which I expect to get better as the year goes on, but your defense makes plays. They get in the end zone. They force big turnovers and bad situations for the opposing defense to then come on the field. It's kind of like Dallas was doing that for a while. We'll see how they do without Stefon Diggs. But when your defense is able to, it's like Iowa football. Iowa football's defense comes on the field and they win it for the offense. They have a better chance of scoring when the defense is on the field. I'm not ready to go there necessarily with the Steelers, but when you have struggles and you can't run, like you can't run at all.
Yeah, that's not a good comparison.
I don't know.
That's not a good comparison.
I don't know. You're smiling at it.
No. It was funny.
No, it's absolutely a fair comparison, right? Like, look, you've got a terrible offense. Why is the offense terrible? A hated offensive coordinator. Like you've got the fans have learned the name of the offensive coordinator and they're chanting for that person to be fired.
You wanted a shirt that said "Fire Canada."
Like the Iowa offense,
the Iowa offense
actually can't score points.
Are you kidding me? The Iowa a couple weeks ago put up 41. When was the last time the Steelers put up 41?
Who are they playing?
No, Cade McNamara threw for 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. I Googled when they played Iowa State. I think Iowa won the game, right? Iowa beat Iowa State this year.
Yes,
they did.
They did.
I texted as a joke. Someone sent the score on one of the college football chats I'm in. I was like, oh, what did the defense score twice, or did the defense score? Just messing around. Then Googled the game and realized the defense actually scored, which is just we're not an Iowa football podcast, but the Steelers struggle. They struggle a lot.
Here's my final thoughts though about this game. Super important for both teams early on because we mentioned the Browns are playing the Ravens. One of those teams has to win. So it's important for us to pick up a win on the road, which will probably be a home game, but on the road to stay in first place. And for Houston, if they can get to 2-2 with back-to-back wins against the Jags and the Steelers, 2 potential wild card type teams, there's reason to believe why can't we win this crappy division or even make the playoffs?
Oh yeah. There's 2 different ways I look at that where I agree. If Houston wins, they kind of jump up a spot in terms of the AFC tiers that we did that at the beginning of the offseason. This is a chance to prove a point. Like, okay, we don't suck. If you're the Steelers, though, and you want to get where so many Steelers fans are talking about having an easy schedule, get to the playoffs, perhaps even win a division, which is right now looking up in the air, this is one you have to win. It's like Baltimore has to beat Indianapolis last week. Even though it's on the road, you have to be able to beat the Texans if you want to be a serious AFC threat.
Can I defend our offense for a brief second?
Yeah, sure. You could try.
And then we'll move on. Because this is dragging on a little bit with the Steelers-Texans game. But the first 2 weeks of the season, it looked very bad. But Kenny Pickett was playing 2 of the most ferocious defenses in football. There was noticeable improvement with the offense last week.
Very fair. Very fair.
And I expect the same thing against Houston. The offense should be fine enough. Like, if they don't turn the ball over, that's
should win
more than enough.
Yep.
Yep,
agree.
It sure was nice for Kenny Pickett when the Raiders dropped an easy pick 6 and 70% of their entire passing EPA came from one play.
He threw 1 bad ball, but Pickett had 2 touchdowns and was a good game manager. Like, the offense was fine.
70% of Pickett's passing EPA came from 1 play.
Yeah, well, I thought he looked fine. I don't think he looked that bad.
Hey, if it gets your seal of approval. One last thing before we move on. I came across this quote from the Texans tight end, Brevin Jordan, about CJ Stroud. This will just get Texans fans jacked up if you haven't seen it. He said the best thing that happened to the Houston Texans franchise was us beating the Indianapolis Colts last game last year. We drafted the right guy. Man, he's a leader. He's a phenomenal player and a phenomenal guy with God-given talent. Dude, he's unbelievable. So the Texans, I mean, remember, they beat the Colts and the Bears. They wound up losing the first overall pick, and everyone made fun of them at the end of last season. That pick probably would have been Bryce Young had they maintained it, the guy who Jack is not a huge fan of.
Yeah, he's the worst of the quarterbacks.
But, they are loving CJ Stroud in Houston right now. He's a captain of the team for a reason. You don't see that a lot with rookies. So it's a fun one this weekend again. 2 young quarterbacks, 2 teams that could be looking to prove something.
I mean, like, this is where TJ's brother played for years. He'll sack Stroud 10 times on Sunday.
Okay, let's go over to make the case. Last the first potential. Would you like to start, Ziggy, here? I feel like Jack just had the Steelers segment. Would you like to take what we're going to do is we have 60 seconds to make a case to Zach why a particular team in last place at the moment or tied for last can still win their division. And there aren't many who you could really make a case for, but we're going to try and have some fun with this.
Sure. Zach, you got the timer?
We have
It appears he is.
timer. Yes, we do.
Okay.
All right, Ziggy. All you, boss man.
All right, I'm ready. Count me down.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. This is a team we just talked about. For me, it's got to be the Houston Texans. Why? Well, they're in a garbage division, right? Almost every team in this division sucks. Colts sucks. Jaguars suck. Titans suck. The Texans probably have the best playing quarterback in the division, right? Anthony Richardson is hurt and raw. Ryan Tannehill was washed. Trevor Lawrence, he's looked pretty good, but he has not been able to get it done. Meanwhile, CJ Stroud's throwing for touchdowns. He's not throwing picks. He's made Tank Dell a wide receiver 1. Flip it over the offensive line. They're going to get healthy. Flip it over the defense. It's good enough to win games. You got DeMeco Ryans coordinating. I firmly believe, to my shock, that this Texans team, yeah, they lost to the Ravens, but they just blew out the Jaguars on the road. They can absolutely win this division. I don't need the rest of the seconds. It's obvious.
5 seconds.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, the Texans is the team I wanted.
Jack wanted the Texans for this. I say, sorry, Ziggy took them. There are only so many teams.
So you're stuck with Minnesota.
So here we go. Jack has the Minnesota Vikings as his team. Hey, there's actually like
this might be like
this
20
one's
seconds.
This one's not crazy. Like this
No, it's
one's
not
not as
crazy.
crazy as some of the other ones.
Yeah, the one you're saying is just absurd.
The one I'm saying is we basically ruled out the Bengals and Jaguars for this, by the way.
The Bengals shouldn't be ruled out, but I just don't want to defend.
The Bengals shouldn't. I should have done the Bengals.
I didn't want to defend the Bengals because they stink.
The Jaguars, they were an odds-on favorite. They still probably are the odds-on favorite.
They are. They're plus 135.
Yeah. So
Texans are at plus 850. It's a lock.
Zach, let me know.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Skull. This team has the best chance of current last place teams to win the NFC North. That's if they want to. I know you're saying blow it up, and I probably agree. But if they want to, they can win the North. This is a team who probably should be 2-1, right? Should have beaten the Bucs at home, had a late lead against the Chargers, choked horrendously. And they were in Philly at night, down by 6 with like 5 minutes, one stop, you get the ball back. Who knows? Best quarterback in the division, best player by a country mile in the division in Justin Jefferson. This is a team when their offense is clicking, could probably beat most teams if you just get that one stop late. Do you trust Jordan Love? We've seen spurts of him being pretty bad. I don't trust him more than I trust Kirk at all. The Lions, I mean, we're thrilled with a 9-8 season. It's the Lions after all. They're vulnerable.
5 seconds.
And the Bears are the worst in the NFL. Minnesota, decent value.
It's pretty good. Yeah, their offense is amazing.
That just came out of my
Oh, that was good. That was really good. That was good. You almost sold me for a second to not blow it up.
I mean, I saw myself. Like, do you have a chance? I mean, maybe you do.
Zach, I'm about to blow your mind right here.
Are you about to believe my mind?
Oh,
Again.
if you have a half decent argument, you win this for sure. Because this is the worst team in the league.
Because I have the Tennessee Titans, and give me the okay, Zach here.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I did some digging on the Titans, and sure, we have the fourth fewest points per game in the NFL. So what? Third fewest passing yards per game, under 150. And I don't care that we have Derrick Henry, and we're still 24th in rushing yards. It's a bad offense. Forget about it. Go over to the defensive side. All right, we're we have the 28th ranked passing defense in football. Not particularly good, but you know what we dominate at, Zach?
What?
Rushing defense. 4th best in the NFL. And I go, all right, how about total points on defense? 16th. We're average. We'll take that. Who's worse? The Jaguars. 10th most points given up per game. The Texans. 11th most points per game. And the Colts. 14th most points per game. The Tennessee Titans have a defense that could potentially hold you if you don't throw the football on them. And I'm telling you, with Mike Vrabel, when Ryan Tannehill turns this thing around and Derrick Henry gets rumbling, this offense comes to life in Tennessee.
You might have sold me. Because the defense wins football games. You might have sold me.
No, look at the Dolphins.
I said if you don't throw the football on them.
Yeah, if you.
Oh, true. Yeah, I missed that part. Oh, so their pass game sucks.
It all sucks.
Yeah.
I was seriously sitting at the computer and I'm like, all right, show me something. And it's run defense.
Run defense is big. Run defense is big.
Hey, dude, what do the Ravens do? They run the football.
You would have been better off picking the Cardinals.
I was actually thinking about the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals might be good. I think Dobbs could be for. I wanted Dobbs the same. I think Dobbs is better than Pickett.
Ziggy, are you okay?
What do you mean the Cardinals are good?
The Cardinals have looked decent to me.
No, the Cardinals have looked okay, but I mean, come on,
they just
49ers.
beat the Cowboys.
Right. Well, that's why I didn't defend them because they can't beat out San Francisco.
You guys gave me an impossible task.
You chose the impossible task. Hey,
who else could you choose?
I mean, can you make a case that Tannehill's like still the best QB there?
And
Henry's a monster.
No. The case I made, the case I was just having fun with, like the Titans, you could perhaps like throw out there with Vrabel.
All right, but hold on. We got to find out who won.
Go ahead. So I mean, look, Zach, I made my case at the end. That offense.
Yeah.
Once it gets going, Zach.
7-3 last
Paul
year.
gave that thrilling speech.
Zach, do you trust Jordan Love and the Lions win the division?
Do we still have time to make arguments? Because I'll make arguments.
We'll cut it.
Go ahead, Zach.
Well, I truly believe in this answer, and it's that Houston will make the run.
That's a double loss for me.
I figured that was.
I lose the Vikings and I lose the.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I've seen too many games, and I hate Tannehill.
Zach's also a Vikings hater. He hates Kirk.
No.
He's jealous.
No, look,
I
the
hate
only
average
threats.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I hate average quarterbacks.
Zach, Tua is second in the league in touchdowns and second in the league in passing yards. You know who he's behind?
Average quarterback.
So Tua is an average quarterback.
No, Tua is not average.
Tua just has great weapons.
In all
He's still behind Kirk.
Still behind Kirk. Still behind Kirk.
You have Justin Jefferson.
We have two great weapons. We
only had one.
Yeah, I mean, Hawkinson's a great weapon. All right, Ziggy says wrap it up. We will.
Ziggy, don't tell us what to do. This is our shit.
I just did.
Here's what we got here. We have the game picks coming up. Briefly talk about Lions Packers and Jack's cap. But first, I'm very excited for this segment.
This is the best segment.
We are all going to pitch one more time to Zach our Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift breakup song titles. And I'm excited for mine. I'll go first. I think when all's said and done, it'll be nice. Over the next Travis Kelce jersey sales and all that, crazy. He's up like 300,000 Instagram followers. He leads the league or something in jersey sales. It's just the Taylor Swift effect is wild.
She's putting him on the map.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
You have to remember that this podcast here, the first thing we ever had blow up was me ranking the top 5 Taylor Swift songs on our TikTok. That's the first thing we ever had that really had sniffed success.
My sister texted me. It's no joke. She goes, "Who's Travis Kelce?"
No.
She's like, "Who is this?
Wait,
Who is this?"
Sister?
Oh yeah, my sister.
No. Okay.
Yeah, sisters, Zach.
My sister, Zach. I have 3 sisters.
I asked which sister.
My sister Maddie. She goes, "Who's Travis Kelce?" Like,
Maddie,
who's this football player that the most famous person on planet Earth is dating?
Well, that's on her. That's on her. She needs to know that.
But there's probably plenty of people out there who have no clue.
A lot of girls probably don't know who Travis Kelce is.
Yeah.
Chiefs Bears was the most watched game this weekend for a reason because she sits in the press box. It's crazy. But anyway, since most of our listeners are football fans at this point and no longer Taylor Swift fans, we'll try and keep this fairly brief. But when it all is said and done here, I think that you open up that album, throw in the CD, or you go on Spotify, and you're going to look at Fourth and Done, Travis Kelce. She's had enough. He had his chances, first, second, third down, and by the 4th time, it's over. No more chances for Travis. Great breakup song, Fourth and Done.
I love that. That's awesome.
4th track on the album.
That's fantastic. I'd go with So Long, Chief. And
that's so good.
She's gonna be like, you know what, Travis, we had a good time, but it's over now. And one of the lyrics will be
oh, you have lyrics.
I have lyrics, yeah. It's gonna start out with, "I was sitting in the end zone when you put me in the friend zone, Travis." And then at some point, the chorus will be like, "So long, Chief."
I mean, if there's any music producers listening to this episode, like we got ideas. We got
some
ideas.
good stuff right there.
Okay, so Zach, you have 4th and Done, So Long Chief, and Ziggy, who's the biggest fan of this segment. What do you got?
For the record, I resent having to do this. I told one of my friends yesterday there was no way we'd be one of the shows that did a Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce
Dude,
segment.
we are the Taylor Swift football show.
Yeah,
That's like our brand identity.
Taylor
You know,
Swift
I've still never listened deliberately to a Taylor Swift song. It is. I've never done it. I've never like looked up.
Deliberate.
It's been on like the radio before or whatever. Like I've had my friends play it, but I've never like looked up Taylor Swift.
Dude, you got a lot of me. I mean, she's good. She's good.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's good. Not like Katy Perry, but she's good.
All right, we don't have to get.
Okay, where's the what position does Travis Kelce?
We're waiting for using.
What position does Travis Kelce play?
He's a tight end.
Where do tight ends line up?
They line on the offensive line normally, or in
exactly where on the offensive line? At the end.
The end.
When Travis Kelce is done with Taylor Swift, right? He's one of those big football guys. This is how she's going to spin it. It's going to be the tight end of the line. So Taylor Swift, she's going to feel betrayed. She's going to feel hurt. He'll pick his brother over her in like some weird cockamamie contraption schema. And it's going to be the tight end of the line. So that's the song she's going to write.
All right.
I mean, Ziggy, could you imagine like if she were to leave Travis, said like I've always liked your brother better, and then it's a Super Bowl rematch.
Oof.
Imagine that would be the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Oh yeah, and she turned down halftime. Imagine if she was performing at halftime. God, can you imagine?
Wow.
Sheesh.
Are we saying that she becomes Jason Kelce?
Well, Jason's gonna wipe the kid.
He's married, but we're just
saying she's always liked him a little
I've always liked your brother a little more than you.
So Zach, you have 4th and Done, you have So Long Chief, and you have tight end of the line.
I just want to clarify So Long Chief because he plays on the Chiefs. For those who don't know that.
Oh yeah.
Like any like new.
Oh, maybe a girl's listening.
Yeah, any like new coming, non-football but more Swift fans that we attract with this reel. He's on the Chiefs. So that's why
this won't make the reel.
So Long Chief.
The reel is we have 60 seconds for the reel.
Oh, okay. So that's just all I want to clarify.
So maybe they'll watch the whole video.
Yeah, who's watching? This is gonna be a whole breakout video.
Whoever watched the whole video. Yeah, whoever watched the whole video.
All right, Zach, who you got? And we have a big surprise right after Zach makes this ruling.
I think I gotta go Jack on this one.
Jack like
even
that,
had
right?
lyrics.
I laughed out loud.
No, that's clearly the best one.
That's phenomenal.
So Long Chief.
We said before this, we were like, all right, let's make the segment. We said, why stop there? Why don't we come out with a full Taylor Swift album, another album? Game over. Is it on the screen, Zach?
No.
About to be.
Tell me when it's on.
It's on.
All right, there you go. Game over. The next Taylor Swift album. I think this might be 10. I don't know where it is. But not only do we have the album, we have a full track list right here.
Leaked.
Featuring 1, The Final Whistle, Losing Game, So Long Chief, 4th and Done, On the Sidelines Again, Tight End of the Line, Red Zone Regrets, I Liked Your Brother Better, Helmets and Heartbreaks, and of course, Your Mom Loved Me. Is there one more in there? The Arrow? Arrow Through My Heart. Oh, Arrow Through My Heart. Who could forget about that one? So we have a full-on album. Red Zone Regrets.
Red Zone Regrets is incredible.
Hey, Taylor Swift, you can use any of this. We're open to it.
Yeah.
Just maybe a shout-out. That's all we need.
Yeah, that's all we need. Maybe tweet about us, maybe.
If Taylor Swift just put on a link to our podcast on our Instagram story, we'd be made for life. That's all it would take.
That's all we need. Taylor, you can have these songs, but do that for us, please.
One time.
That's all we ask.
So there you go. The next Taylor Swift album, Game Over. Sorry, Travis.
Or sorry, Taylor.
Maybe.
You never know.
Travis Kelce will be okay. He's got multiple rings and tens of millions of dollars.
Travis Kelce has a ring? All right, that's horrible. Let's go into our game picks, our favorite part of the show.
Oh,
normally.
College game day style, baby.
It's college game day style picks. Here we go. Let me know when you're ready, Zach. We transitioned over?
What do you think I am? The rookie producer? Ziggy, you see
I'm
this?
just
asking.
You never know. You said you were tired.
Honestly, Ziggy's the only one that gets to watch my amazing skills every time we do this. So
yeah, it's kind of scary that those two are the ones guiding.
Yeah, the double Z.
We just have trust over here. All right, then cue the music. Let's get this started. Game picks, week 4 in the NFL.
We gotta tell them about what happens if you are alone.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, so if you're a first time listener. If you're alone with your pick, you are a lone wolf. Excellent producing from Zach right there. Just a quick update. Ziggy is leading us on the season, 30-18 overall. I'm just behind at 29-19. And we got Jack and Zach, 28-20, just behind. So everyone's still
doing pretty solid.
Kind of neck and neck right here.
Doing pretty solid. I bet you if we're picking against the spread, we're all like 17-30. But
that's why we do game picks. That's why we do money line.
That's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do outright.
Yeah. We know what we're doing here. We know what we're doing. All right, let's get this started. Week 4 in the NFL game picks. We're going to start off Detroit Lions at Green Bay Packers.
Get that music going.
Thursday Night Football. The Lions are a 1.5-point favorite on the road against Jordan Love. I guess we're a Packer podcast and your Packers. I'm not saying our Packers.
Well, this is going to be a game where your Packers are super excited. They're going to win this game at home. Jordan Love's going to look great. Green Bay.
Jared Goff looks like prime Joe Montana when he plays the Packers. Career, he's 4-2, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. This is only the 3rd time a team has been favored going into Green Bay since 1999.
Wow.
It's going to happen again. Lions win.
Give me the Lions. All day.
Jack, you're going to be a lone wolf here because there's no way I'm picking the Packers.
It's an early wolf.
No way.
Wolf.
Look, even though they're at home, this Lions team, we're going to talk more about it in a second. This Lions team, great offense, and they had a better than average defense, which is all they need this season. Falcons at Jaguars. Jaguars, 3-point favorites.
I like the Jags to bounce back after a brutal home loss. They probably slept on Houston a bit. They're bouncing back this week at home against Atlanta. Give me the Jags.
Jaguars, London special. They do not win at their real home base, which is in London. Give me the Jaguars all frickin' day.
Oh, I forgot this one.
Great. I forgot to mention it's in London.
I've got London also.
Yeah.
Early morning.
Yeah, give me the Jags. The Jags beat us in London.
I'll take the Jags. Yeah, I'll take Jags.
You got the Jags, Zach?
I got the Jags.
I'm also going to go Jacksonville. It seems like when they make big mistakes, like a kickoff return touchdown or fumbling return for a touchdown, that's how they lose these games, or at least keep them close. Not totally sold on the Falcons, even though they're better than people think. I got Jacksonville at their real home. Dolphins at Bills. We talked about this earlier. Buffalo, a 3-point favorite.
I got the Bills. They're still the cream of the crop in the AFC, so I got the Bills.
Since 1970, teams that have scored 60-plus are 0-7 against the spread in their next game. That's about to become 0-8. Dolphins have no chance going into Buffalo.
Oof.
That's harsh to hear, boys. That's harsh to hear. But I'm taking the Dolphins all day.
+3 or outright?
Outright. What are you talking about? +3 outright.
Man, I want to take the Dolphins. I do want to put my fin up, but Josh Allen 5-0 against Miami at home. You're a lone wolf.
We got a lone fin. We got a lone.
But I'm rooting for you. I would love to be wrong. Steelers at Texans. Steelers -3 against rookie CJ Stroud.
The Steelers win this game quite comfortably. Another home away from home. Towels flying. They get in Stroud's face. They win comfortably. Pittsburgh.
The Steelers' offense has not been good. They've gotten lucky to win their past few. The luck runs out in Houston. Give me the Texans.
Oof.
Give me TJ Watt all day.
Yep. TJ Watt leads the league in sacks. Steelers lead the league in sacks. They're in Stroud's face all day. I like the Steelers. I like them to cover.
You like the Steelers.
You really do.
You like the Steelers.
Well, you got a light schedule. I'm always going to pick you guys when it's a light schedule. I think you're better than the worst. And Texans might not be the worst, but Rams at Colts. Colts 1.5-point favorites. It looks like Anthony Richardson should play.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Richardson right now. I think there's a lot of growing pains, a lot of stuff I have to see. I got Matthew Stafford, veteran quarterback. This Rams team looks pretty good. I got
Colts
the Rams.
are favorite though.
Yeah,
like 1.5.
Makes sense. I got the Rams.
Ziggy, these are like two teams here that you've kind of showed love to before.
I'm rattled by that line.
Me too.
I think the Rams should be heavily favored. So I'm actually just going to defer to the experts here. They must know something I don't about what's going on with the Colts. Give me the Colts.
Hey, don't be afraid to fade yourself, Ziggy.
Give me Puka all day.
It's questionable. He got downgraded to questionable.
Puka.
I'm with you, Ziggy. There's something weird about this. And Anthony Richardson has looked good when he's played. Again, 2 rushing touchdowns early in that week 2 matchup before he exited. I'm going to very uncomfortably go with the Colts in this one. I don't like this at all. I'm fading myself.
If I were betting, I would stay very far away from this game.
The obvious thought is the Rams, but there's just something.
It's a fishy line.
There's something guiding me over to the Colts.
Somebody
I don't
knows
know
something.
what it is.
Something smells.
Vikings,
stinky fish.
4-point favorites at the Panthers.
Is Bryce Young playing? Bryce Young, he's projected fantasy points. I think he's playing, right?
Is he? I thought right now you said trending towards no, Ziggy.
He's trending towards yes.
Oh, trending towards yes. Okay.
Minnesota. But Dalton's good. So if it's Dalton,
look, it doesn't matter. They'll both throw for 450 yards. It doesn't.
Bryce Young won't. Bryce Young's terrible.
Ziggy?
Minnesota.
This Vikings team is cursed. Give me the Panthers. We're cursed. We can't win a freaking game.
I got Justin Jefferson on my team, so give it to me, Vikings all day.
This is two Vikings to start 0-3 and basically have the season washed away that early, and then come and whoop the Panthers and be like, oh, maybe we have a chance and shouldn't blow it up. So Vikings will win this. They'll probably cover too. Lone Wolf over there.
A lot of lone wolves today.
For Zig Dog. Yeah, that's the three of them right now.
Well, I'm either going to be way in the lead or way behind. There's no alternative.
Yeah, that's what you can afford that when you're winning. 30. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3-point favorites. I'm sorry. This is way off. Buccaneers at Saints. Saints are 3-point favorites. I don't know what I was reading.
I like Winston and the Saints off a terrible blown lead in Green Bay. Winston comes home against his old team, lights him up in the dome. New Orleans.
Jameis Winston is one of those players, you just don't ever know what you're going to get out of him. Baker Mayfield has been consistent. He has been solid, and he's got the weapons. I didn't like at all how the Saints offense looked in that second half against the Packers. I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Well, I'm going to follow and go with the Buccaneers.
You're going to go Buccaneers? I will also go with the Buccaneers. The Saints, Alvin Kamara returns in this one for New Orleans. And it's probably the better decision to take the Saints at home, but I think the Saints and the Bucs both get crushed by the Eagles. Neither of these teams are very good, but I trust, like you said, Ziggy, I trust the Bucs a little bit more in this one. I'll go Tampa Bay.
I told you guys early on, the Bucs are my NFC South champs. Told you guys early on.
You picked
the Saints.
I know.
Favorite. Yeah.
I know.
Commanders getting 8.5 points at the Eagles. This, I have a feeling, is going to be a clean sweep.
Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles all day.
You know who they lost to last year?
That's right.
The Redskins. Give me the Redskins all day.
Whoa, man. Chill out there. The Commanders?
Commanders.
That wasn't intentional. Believe it or not. Commanders, I'm going to go with the Eagles as well. Yeah, I can't believe you actually picked the Commanders.
We're in a wolf pack.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, no.
No, we're in a. He picked the Commanders. I thought. Yeah, I didn't process that. I was assuming everyone was just going to take the Eagles.
Oh, that's absurd.
Yeah, I mean he's crazy.
What do you mean it's absurd? They won last year. They'll win it again this year.
Sam Howell is just taking a sack on every play.
Just let him do his thing. Let him cook. Speaking of let him cook, the Broncos and Russell Wilson at the Chicago Bears in what might be the most unwatchable game of the weekend.
Oh my gosh!
You got to understand. Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
So I think that
process it.
I think that the Broncos have like the slightest bit of capability, whereas the Bears don't have any. So I'll take the Broncos like 6-3.
The Broncos lost by 50. They defense gave up 70 points, and they were 3.5-point favorites on the road. This tells you what people think of the spread increase after last week. Like it was 2.5 last week. Then after they lost to the Dolphins by 50, the spread grew. This is how bad this Bears team is.
It's got to be the Broncos.
It's justified. I have to take the Broncos. Russell Wilson can at least play quarterback. They at least, like Marvin Mims he looks okay.
Yeah, it's
like they have
tough.
some capabilities. The Bears don't.
We are just absolutely roasting this poor team.
Jack, you throw that music back on. I can't talk about the Bears and the Broncos.
They're in such turmoil,
music.
the Bears. I mean, you guys got to be the Broncos.
Zach?
It's Broncos all
like
day.
9-7, 12-10.
The Bears haven't won a football game since October. The Broncos are so bad, though. They're both horrible. The Broncos they're giving up double points each week. So 17, then 35. So, the Bears might hang 140 on them this week. You never know. I'm going to go with Denver. I wanted to
Broncos
take the Bears.
country. Let's ride.
Let's ride. We're all together on this one. I'm not. I was so close to taking Chicago. I was planning on it the whole time, but they're just.
You can't. You can't.
This
I mean, but like, think
team
about the games. They both lost by like 100 points combined last week.
What's the under?
Yeah.
40 and no, it's 46.
It's either gonna be 75-70 or like 7-6.
It's gonna be a bad game. They're both.
Here's this Bears team. We haven't seen mismanagement like this since the Urban Meyer days in Jacksonville. It's that bad there. I can't buy it.
Yeah. All right, Ravens at Browns. We talked about this earlier. Cleveland, a 2.5-point favorite. What do you got, Jack?
Cleveland at home. Close.
They might be home favorites, but give me the home dogs. I'm going with Cleveland.
Give me Cleveland.
Got Cleveland as well. Bengals at Titans. Bengals 2.5-point road favorites.
I got the Bengals to even their record here. I think Tennessee's garbage.
I think Tennessee's garbage, but the Bengals' interior offensive line is also garbage. We saw what Aaron Donald was able to do them. I think the Titans are going to get pressure on Joe Burrow. They're going to be ready to win a game at home. I think the Bengals' offense is in real trouble and they're not going to get it done. So I am going to take the Titans.
Wow.
Crazy, because I'm going to be taking the Bengals.
I look at this and it seems easy to take the Bengals here. But I do have the Titans winning the AFC South. And I did defend
You
them
just defend them. You got
to win the AFC South. Yeah. With that said, 100% the Bengals still. 100% the Bengals.
Tighten up.
You heard the
Tighten up.
stats that I gave for them. They suck at everything.
I hope the Titans win. Oh, they're horrible, the Titans.
Look, I hope they win too. Because we
hope
like
they
the
win.
Titans on
I
this
hate the
podcast.
Bengals.
We're sort of a Titans podcast.
Yeah, the
to a
Titans
degree.
commented on our one of our videos.
You know what?
I mean,
I'm switching back.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
going
no,
Titans. I'm going Titans.
I'm taking Titans too.
Tighten up.
I'm
Tighten up.
taking
You're a
Titans
lone
too.
wolf here, Zach.
Zach's
We're rolling
I'm taking
Titans.
the Titans.
What a moment.
I'm taking the Titans.
What a moment. We like the Tennessee Titans.
I hate the Bengals.
Raiders at Chargers. Chargers 5.5-point favorites.
That Raiders team's terrible, man. I just watched them last week. They're a bad team. I got
Devontae Adams had almost a fifth of 1,000 yards against you.
Yeah, and they had 7 points. They're terrible. They have one player. Chargers.
The Raiders are playing their first home game this year at SoFi Stadium. I get that this is
I agree. Yeah, he's right.
When they go to SoFi, I expect the crowd to be at least 70% Raiders fans, maybe more. Like, they played a road game at what's the name of their stadium in Vegas?
Allegiant.
I don't even know the name.
Oh,
yeah, at Allegiant, they played a road game.
Crazy.
At SoFi, they're going to play a home game. I don't think this Chargers team is good at all. Jimmy G is the efficiency king. The Raiders defense can get home. Give me the Raiders.
Isn't Jimmy G in concussion protocol?
That's even worse.
Yeah, we leveled that bum.
Who you got, Zach?
I got the Chargers.
I got the Chargers too. I'm not expecting much from this Raiders team. Patriots at Cowboys.
Getting music going back. Zach.
6.5-point favorites, Dallas. You see, he talks about the producing the whole time, and then like he can't get a song.
I can't pick without music in my headphones.
The Cowboys coming off a tough loss to the Cardinals. They looked bad, and the Patriots off their first win of the season. Lock of the year last week against the Jets. That was a lock. But what do you got for this one?
I got the Cowboys bounce back in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I totally agree. The Cowboys at home, they're ready to exact revenge. The Cardinals game was a meltdown, but it was an aberration. Patriots have no chance here. Give me the Cowboys.
Pats don't score enough points.
The Pats. Listen really clearly. The Pats suck.
Dallas for Zach.
So
Dallas.
That's going Cowboys.
I will also go with the Cowboys in this one. Just not enough offense for the Patriots. Two very good defenses, though. The Cardinals can't get respect. I don't know why. You know, what do they have to do? They beat the Cowboys. Everyone has them number one.
I'm kind of
except from you. Except from you.
I love the Cardinals.
I'm kind of on their wagon also.
But you know what? It's like they go and they beat what everyone was saying might be the best team in football, and they're still 14-point underdogs at the 49ers.
Yeah, the Cardinals, they're going to win outright, the Cardinals. I think Josh Jobs is on a mission, I swear to God. I mean, he wanted a spot in Pittsburgh. We kicked him to the curb. Now he's getting his starting job. He's the man. I like the Cardinals.
Upsetting the Niners.
Upsetting San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
I like the Cardinals, yep.
Okay, Ziggy.
You know, boy, howdy, I would love to take this Cardinals team. They're exciting. I totally get why people love them. I want Dobbs to win. Can I do it? No, the 49ers are clearly the better team. You got to give me the 49ers.
The Cardinals have taken down one powerhouse team in the Cowboys, and they're going to do it again this weekend against the 49ers.
Dobbs could be the real deal.
He's a rocket scientist, man.
Look, I love
Ziggy the lone wolf.
I love what I'm seeing here with Dobbs, and I hope they keep winning because I have my eyes on a bigger prize for the Vikings in the NFL draft. But the 49ers are way too deep everywhere. They're just such a better football team at basically every position.
Name one position the Cardinals are better at.
Quarterback.
I got the 49ers in this one. So we are split on Cardinals 49ers.
You know what? I'll take it. It's a free win.
Yeah, Chiefs at Jets. Ziggy, there's a reason they're tied for last place. Chiefs at Jets.
I got the Chiefs coming into MetLife. Rumors have it Swift will be there again.
Are they?
Yep. And the Chiefs will blow them out.
Travis Kelce, you are not slick inviting Taylor Swift to all the games where your offense is going to win and you're going to dominate your opponent. She's going to be at the Vikings game too, and the Broncos game. He probably won't invite her to any of the actual hard matchups. But yeah, absolutely. The Jets don't have an offense. When you don't have an offense, it's difficult to win at football. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah, I got the. Well, do you have them covering 9.5? I think that's an easy cover because the Jets can't score. It's gonna be like 31-6.
Yeah, I'll take the
10.
Chiefs to cover that. Yeah,
9.5. I'd be all over that line. Is she actually going to the game?
That's what I just saw. About 30 minutes ago.
She was invited. There's an expectation that she's going to be there.
How much do you think ticket prices will change because she's at the game? I bet they do. They probably have.
Oh yeah, I mean a bunch of like people who aren't football fans but are Swift fans will show up.
Our friend literally texted us saying he wanted to go to the game because Taylor Swift was going.
Yeah, crazy.
He did. Yeah,
crazy.
He's like, let's go.
And you know, we all said in the chat, you were out of your mind.
We all said, eh.
No, the ticket prices are $80.
Oh, hey, maybe we'll go. Seahawks at Giants, Monday Night Football in New York. Wow, Sunday night and Monday night in New York this week. Seattle getting 1.5 against the Giants.
Yeah, I have a feeling the Giants show up and play well here. I got Daniel Jones and I got the Giants.
The Giants don't have Saquon. The Seahawks, our offense is incredibly hot. I do not think the Giants are going to be able to hold home turf. Give me the Seahawks.
Who's hotter, me or the Seahawks offense?
Jack, that's an impossible question. You know I can't answer that.
Eugene's playing well.
Eugene?
His name's Eugene Smith.
Give me Eugene Smith all day then.
Yeah, Jack, I can't.
I'm lone wolfing it.
I can't believe you took the Giants. The Seahawks are just a better team than them. Guys, there's something kind of bothering me. I kind of want to take the Bears. Like, the Broncos suck.
Oh, the Bears suck too, though.
You're right.
Oh, the Bears are in your division.
I'll hold it. I know it just has
Broncos
a
country. We are riding.
It just has a feeling. The Broncos are. I think they're even more miserable than the Bears.
I mean, all of us backing the Broncos, the Bears will probably
like Casey Fields running for like $150. I mean, he won't do anything.
No.
With his arm. All right, I'll stay with the Broncos. I don't know. Okay, let's close the show with two last things here. The Lions and the Packers. Zach, you mind cutting this music? What do you have to do for some producing right now?
Zach, come on.
You guys are on my ass.
Dude, like,
you're on your C game
unreal.
tonight. You're on your C game tonight.
Unreal. It's like the entire Kelce segment. He's like, I'm the best producer in the game, and then it's like,
he got too comfortable.
Play some music. Jeez. All right.
I'm gonna keep it on Z for the rest of the show.
I'm just kidding.
We're also in Zach's house. We can't get on his bad side.
He's got us by the balls.
We can't be on his bad side.
Okay. Sorry, EP.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You're doing a great job. You have done a great job.
He's also in his Cardinals red.
Yeah, go Cardinals. You know, you almost convinced me. Lions and Packers, a battle for the NFC North. As we said, we've really actually enjoyed having Packers fans enjoy this content over the past couple of weeks. It sucks to have to talk about the Packers in such a positive light, but at the same time, I really do like their fan base. It is just a bunch of really fun people.
They comment such nice things.
Oh, they're great people, and they comment nice things. They just love football. Like, I mean, beer, cheese, bratwurst. It's like Wisconsin's awesome.
Oh, I'm picking Green Bay because of our subscribers.
Oh, well, there are good things to look forward to for Green Bay. If things go as expected, Aaron Jones and Christian Watson are both expected to play. Mm-hmm. Jair Alexander is trending towards playing too. So you could start to see the Packers not quite at full strength, but getting pretty close. They'll still be missing Bakhtiari. They'll still be missing Devondre Campbell. I think Elton Jenkins, he's also
out.
Play.
Yep. So two of the offensive linemen are out for this one.
You're still going to see things look a lot better, and you're going to need them to look a lot better because this Lions offense is relentless. the Packers defense is just not going to be able to stop them all night. Jordan Love's going to need to take advantage of those weapons coming back.
Yep, and Zach Tom, the tackle, is also questionable at the moment. There's a lot of injuries really on both sides. For Detroit, they're missing their right guard, and then Taylor Decker, their left tackle, their left guard, Jonah Jackson, is also they're both questionable. David Montgomery. There's a lot of injuries in this game. Hopefully everyone can play, and it'll be exciting to see Green Bay if they can get back to full strength. I can't believe I'm talking about the Packers in this light, but it'll be exciting to see Jordan Love play with them. What I am expecting to be one of the key factors of this game is the Detroit run defense this season has, for lack of a better word, just been spectacular, especially compared to what we were assuming coming into the year, or a lot of people were, and based off last season. 5th fewest yards allowed in the NFL at 72 points per game. Think about what they did to Bijan Robinson. After the Packers allow 19 carries for 124 yards, this same Falcons team, dominant on the ground, Bijan goes 10 carries for 33 against the Lions. Packers rushing offense is the 9th worst in the league at 90.3 yards per game. So you have what should be a stout Lions run defense against a weak Packers rushing attack. Puts a lot of pressure on Jordan Love to operate at an efficient level. And that's what I'm really looking at for this game. Can Jordan Love continue the success we saw in the fourth quarter against the Saints after being stifled the first 3? Will he be able to get the job done?
I think that last week was huge for Jordan Love in terms of confidence. It has him, it has the Packers, it has the fans believing, you know what, like, this kid can do it. This kid can be our quarterback. This kid can play in the league. This is a team that should be 3-0. It took a blown 12-point lead in the fourth quarter in Atlanta.
Yep.
And confidence is key for a quarterback as young as Jordan Love. I think Matt LaFleur gives a speech in the locker room this week, and he's like, you know what? This team kept us out of the playoffs last year in this building. Let's go get them tonight. Let's show them that they're the Lions and we're the Packers. This is Lambeau Field. They're going to rally and they're going to win this game.
I've been seeing some stories. I think you're right to focus on Jordan Love. I've been seeing some stories talking about how he takes a lot of checkdowns. And this is weird because if you actually watch the Packers games, they are one of the most aggressive offenses in the NFL. I mean, his air yards per attempt lead the league by a full yard ahead of Deshaun Watson. You know, he's in the top 5 in passes thrown 20 yards downfield and 10 to 19 yards downfield. This is an offense that comes out and wants to be aggressive. And I really like that, right? Jordan Love is getting confident. He's seen against the Saints that it can work when you're throwing those deep passes and he can get in a rhythm. And when you're making big plays, you don't need a whole lot of them to work out to win a game.
It's funny, Ziggy. Me and you, we pick topics for the show, and then we kind of do our own research. We have a general idea of what we want to talk about. But me and you today have just we've been on the same wavelength, because I also was paying attention to the deep ball from Jordan Love. We talked about it after the Saints comeback, and I said on the show, I love that he just pushes it downfield. And he actually came out and said, I like pushing the ball downfield. This Packer offense, they take a lot of shots, and people get on Jordan Love for his completion percentage. It's second worst in the league right now, behind only Zach Wilson at about, I think it's 55.3% at the moment. I'll have to double check that. But a reason for that is because he's taken so many downfield chances. Justin Herbert leads the league in completion percentage. That's because he also happens to lead the league in passes thrown behind the line of scrimmage. So Jordan Love, don't let it fool you. The completion percentage isn't great, but it's because they take chances, the Packers do. And now you add back Christian Watson, hopefully for Packers fans. Hopefully you add him back, who was one of the better deep threats in football last year. And I really do think that they're going to have success against a Lions secondary that's also a little banged up. It'll be a great game. What it comes down to for me is this Lions offense has just been really efficient. And Jared Goff is playing some of the best football of his career, maybe the best. And I'm expecting them to be able to just outscore Green Bay, to outpace them. There'll be some stops. I mean, it'll be a good football game, but I like the Lions. They run the ball a lot. David Montgomery should be back. I'm not positive on that yet, but if he's back with Jahmyr Gibbs, you say the play action doesn't set up the pass. I don't know what you're talking about, Ziggy, but Jared Goff has been great in play action this year. I expect the Lions to win this because their offense can outlast Green Bay.
Well, that's exactly the point. Jared Goff has been great in play action despite the Lions' run game not being good.
This is a big game for the Lions. They're division favorites. they have aspirations to win the NFC North and make a playoff run. You have to win these types of games on the road against other potential teams who can win your division.
Yeah, and I saw these numbers on Aiden Hutchinson, which, remember last year, he might be like the drought breaker, Aiden Hutchinson. He comes into Michigan and sacks CJ Stroud 3 times, ends a 10-year drought of Michigan losses to Ohio State. He comes in. The Lions, believe it or not, have won 3 straight against the Packers now. And he was all over Aaron Rodgers in that final game last year. I believe he had, in 2 games against the Packers? He had 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and an interception. He's just been a monster. That was with David Bakhtiari, who's out. I think he's going to be a big disruptor. Again, close game. It'll be a good game. But Jordan Love's going to have to make a couple plays. Will he be able to get that done? I think he's just a little short in this one. This Packers team is convincing me, though, that they're going to be here all season with Detroit.
I mean, did you see how good Aiden Hutchinson was the defensive player of the week for a reason? Mm-hmm. Against the Falcons, he had 2 sacks, 2 passes defended, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Like, he is just...
Dude's a monster.
Boy, did the Jaguars look foolish in not taking him number 1 like everyone thought they should. They took Trayvon Walker instead. Oh, he's so good, Paul. He's one of the best young defensive players.
Detroit's done a great job with the Penei Sewell pick and Aiden Hutchinson. Jahmyr Gibbs so far has looked good. He hasn't done anything crazy, but I can't help thinking, man, if they had gotten Jalen Carter and like their lines, their lines could, and their line's doing good. Remember, I just said how good their rushing defense is. We know the O-line's great, but
I mean, this is probably the game one of the games I'm most excited for this weekend.
Well, it's a prove-it game for both teams. This is really grab control of the NFC North right now because the Vikings and Bears are not showing signs of life.
And there's a world the Vikings and Bears are both 0-4, and the winner of this game is looking really good.
It's turn every week. We're heading more and more towards a 2-horse race between these two, and you have them at home though. If you're Green Bay, you have them in Lambeau. Like you said last year, Detroit goes in and pushes you around in a game that meant nothing to them other than pride. So if you're LaFleur, you got to find a way to wake everyone up, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be an awesome game. And with Aaron Jones, we can't forget the impact of Aaron Jones on this offense. They look way different when he's in the game. Their running game has really been putrid since he's been out.
Yeah.
Even with him, it wasn't good, but like he's one of the best backs in football. Adding Watson and Aaron Jones, it could be monumental for Jordan Love.
There's also, to me, like last year's playoff or week 18 game in Green Bay, Sunday Night Football. There seemed to be there was probably more pressure on Green Bay than Detroit because Detroit's playing for pride. Let's go out there and beat these guys. Whereas the Packers had to win that game. They were playing meaningful football. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like the pressure in this game is a little bit more
flipped
on Detroit. Like it's flipped. And that bodes well, in my opinion, for Green Bay.
That's what's fun about this year and Packers fans, please let us know in the comments if you agree with this. But what's so fun about this year, if you are a Packer fan, I don't want to say for Pat, like I don't want to be associated here. But what's fun for Packers fans is you got this young quarterback who is making comebacks now. Against the Falcons, they came up short, but he's making plays. He looks good. He kind of has a Rodgers feel on some of the throws, just the way he contorts his body. And now, like, you don't have pressure. Like, you're kind of just having fun this year. It's all great. Right now, this is gravy. Because you were just hoping he looked good. Now it's like, wow, the Vikings stink. The Bears stink. And it's Detroit. So there's a chance here, and I think you got to be having a really fun first month of the year.
If you beat the Lions at home and you're 3-1, I'm going to be like, okay, this is on. Let's win this division.
Yeah.
Let's get a 3 or 4 seed.
Crazy.
No, whichever team wins this game should be favored to win the division because they'll have the tiebreaker over they at least can't lose the tiebreaker to the only other relevant team in the division.
Yep. And I just trust Detroit more at the moment. Green Bay's good, but I trust Detroit more. So while we'll wrap up the show, as always, with God, I just don't want to talk about college football. With our favorite segment.
This is hurting me too a little bit.
With our favorite segment. I'm so pissed off.
It's hurting me too. Because my last cap of the week was
you've gotten screwed with some of the caps have been pretty good this year. It's been unbelievable bad luck on this show right now.
The PFS curse continues.
It might be.
Because I've been 2-1 the last 2 weeks, but the one pick I lost was cap of the week.
And you lost on a pick six with 30 seconds left and a historic collapse for Notre Dame.
Unreal stuff.
So, with that said, though, we'll watch it.
Yeah,
Closer mentality here. You have been hot betting lately.
Yeah, I've been good. you can't lose painfully forever either. So hopefully things change.
Did you see my life?
Maybe you can. Maybe you can.
Go ahead.
I should cover up the shirt a little bit. Shouldn't have worn this shirt.
I mean, it is, at this point, it is what it is.
Here's a little giveaway, maybe.
But we do have people listening. Well, now you give me.
Okay,
Spotify listeners have no idea.
True. So I'm laughing when I think of this because you can't really make this up. Like when these things happen to me, when I receive these signs from God himself. Last night I was watching Forrest Gump with my family. And it was the war scene when Forrest is fighting in the war in Vietnam. And during that scene, I look out my window and I see a giant eagle land in my backyard. And I'm like, wow, that thing's huge. And I was torn. My eyes were going back and forth from the TV with the war and the eagle. I was like, war, eagle.
You've got to be kidding. Jack, don't finish this. Shut up.
War eagle. I'm like, there it is. I'm going down to the plains to take the Auburn Tigers plus 14.5 against those Georgia Bulldogs. The loveliest village on the plains, baby. Go Auburn, war eagle.
Wow. Well, I mean,
Auburn lost by 13 to Texas A&M.
Oh, they sure did.
Not 14. Not 14.
And I don't just think they cover. I think when the new rankings come out, we have a new #1 team in the country.
Hey, one more out of the way for the Irish.
I'll be rolling Toomer's corner. Georgia will no longer be #1.
Gosh.
You realize Auburn's missing like 3 of their best players, right?
That's fine by me. I don't care.
Doesn't matter to Jack. It was a sign from God, Ziggy.
Flew into his yard.
I saw an eagle in my backyard, Ziggy. As I was watching...
Now look, was it probably a hawk?
Ziggy doesn't understand because he only sees rats.
Yeah, that's true. That might be too soon.
This is not last.
They're still here.
Ziggy, listen. That was a sign from God for Jack to take Auburn.
It was definitely a hawk.
No, it was an eagle. It was surely an eagle.
It was a bald eagle?
Yeah, it was massive. I'm like, whoa.
It was a bald eagle in his backyard.
As I was watching a war scene on TV, I'm like, you can't make this up.
War eagle.
Eagle.
There are signs all the time, and sometimes people miss them, not you.
Now I don't miss signs. I don't miss signs.
All right, so there you go.
I also want to know against the #1 team in the country on the road when I've been there.
Just saying.
I'll be in attendance, Ziggy.
That's stuff that only sharps know.
I'll be in attendance.
And listeners know. Yeah. So there you have it. NFL Week 4 prediction show. A lot happened in this episode. Game picks, Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce. Make the case for the Tennessee Titans. Oh, it's super
my favorite
fun
episode, I think.
One of our more enjoyable episodes to record as well. That's just a great time. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We can use all the subscriptions that we can get, and we appreciate everyone for listening. It does mean a lot when you leave a comment or just say, like,
we have a website now.
You like, you hate. Yeah, we do have a website, paulfarringtonshow.com. We're trying to improve everything day by day. It's a slow grind, but it's a fun grind.
Merch coming soon.
Maybe some merch. We might have some merch coming out soon. Some fun merch as well. Unfortunately, some Packer merch too, which sucks, but it is what it is. All right, we will see you for the Week 4 reaction show. Jack won't be here because he's coming back from a game.
I'll be coming back from an epic win,
a football game. Yeah, and until then, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening.